Welcome to the SCS 200 Project One Rubric Review. In this presentation, I'd like to share my highlighted rubric with students so that they can see exactly what I'm looking for in the completion of their first major project for the course. First of all, this assignment is due Sunday at the end of Module 5 by 11:59 p.m. Next, I always like to remind students of the basics. This paper is required to be submitted following APA format, 12-point, double-spaced, 1-inch margins, Times New Roman or similar font. You'll notice that the length requirement is 3 to 5 pages, but honestly, I think it's really hard to achieve in 3. A lot of students go over this requirement, and most come in somewhere around 4 to 6 pages, which is totally fine with me. Now let's take a look at the graded categories. The first thing to note is that I've highlighted the 4 key areas of assessment. These are the essential pieces of your paper that must be there. You'll note on the left-hand side of the page that there is a 2-part introduction, a 4-part body of analysis, a 2-component conclusion, and last, the formatting of your references and grammatical content. Let's go over each of these categories. Your introduction should include the why of your research. This is your opportunity to present your issue to me and also explain why it's necessary that we take a look at it from a social science perspective. Are there compelling reasons that we should care about? What's the significance of it? This should run at least one fully developed paragraph. This is also the space where you introduce your scientific sources. Note on the rubric that there should be at least 3 resources in order to achieve a proficient mark. And in order to score exemplary, you'll either want to go beyond this minimum or you'll need to demonstrate a truly in-depth understanding of complex literature. I always tell students that this is where you can kind of show off your knowledge and your interpretation of the research. As you move into the body of your work, note that there are 4 key components that I'm looking for. The first is that you can identify some of those social science principles from Module 1 as related to your issue. Here you begin to cite sources alongside your analysis, so you're showing me that you know how to apply them. Thoroughly explain how they are related to your topic, and in order to achieve an exemplary score, use your references to link your chosen topic to the principles as justified by the research. This approach really shows a complex or comprehensive understanding of your issue. The final 2 segments of the body consist of focusing in on who you want to direct your message toward. Examples might be an organization, either locally based or a national organization such as the Red Cross or American Sociological Association. It might be policymakers or a school board or mental health practitioners. And then move into a description of how you can reach your audience in an effective way. If you take a look at the last 2 segments that I've highlighted in the body portion of the rubric, here you are continuing to use your sources to develop effective communication strategies that will resonate with your intended audience. As you move into the concluding piece of your research investigation, you can state your research question. Here, you can post the question along with some thoughts that show a social scientific understanding of how best the question can be phrased to produce detailed results. In order to achieve exemplary marks in this area, you want to provide a roadmap for the next steps of the investigation. In other words, where do we go from here? What other sources of information can be brought in? What can we do to dig even deeper into the topic? Have you noted any gaps in the literature? Perhaps it would be best to conduct a survey or gather updated data online. Maybe interviews might bring the information up to currency. or perhaps an ethnographic study could clarify the issue further. In this section, I'm really looking for thoughtful brainstorming. And lastly, before turning in your work, take a few minutes to review that you have completed your work in APA formatting, that you've included in-text citation where needed, and be sure to run a complete spelling and grammar check. As always, please contact me if I can be of assistance to you along the way. Thanks so much for taking the time to review this slide.